Before you ever chose, solitude chose you. Not because you're an introvert, not because you dislike people, but because at some point in your life, your mind detected a threat. And instead of fighting it, instead of running from it, your brain built a safe room around you, a psychological bunker. And to this day, you still live inside it. This is the real reason you prefer being alone. And it has nothing to do with personality. To understand the truth, you have to go back to the moment your brain realized something terrifying. People can hurt me without ever touching me. It might have been one betrayal, one heartbreak, one chaos-filled home, one manipulator who smiled while they cut you down. Doesn't matter what shape the threat took, your nervous system only kept one memory. Connection is where danger hides. And so it rewired you to seek the one place danger could never follow: isolation. You felt it for years, that silent instinct to stand just outside the group. You don't enter a room, you evaluate it. You don't trust words, you trust micro-expressions, tension shifts, and the tiny cracks in someone's voice when they say something they don't believe. Most people socialize.
You scan, you watch, you measure, not because you're cold, but because once in your life, being unaware was dangerous. People think you're quiet. What they don't realize is that your silence is a weapon, a radar constantly tuned to the first sign of danger. And the more your gift sharpened, the less you wanted to be around anyone at all. Every solitary person has a history, a file locked deep inside their memory, one the conscious mind rarely opens, but your body remembers it perfectly. It remembers who drained you, who ignored you, who twisted your words, who made love feel conditional, who made trust feel expensive. And so your nervous system performed a quiet autopsy on those memories and found the cause of death. People weren't safe. It didn't matter if the threat was emotional, social, or psychological. Your brain cataloged it, then issued a permanent directive: withdraw, protect, observe from a distance. Not a personality, a protocol. Most people think burnout comes from work, but the worst kind comes from other humans, from giving too much, caring too much, caring too much, being the strong one too long, until one day your system simply shuts down. You stop explaining yourself. Stop expecting people to understand. Stop trying to be easy to love. You don't collapse. You disconnect. Piece by piece, your emotional circuits go dark, and your brain whispers, "Enough. Shut everyone out. Just breathe." That's not solitude. That's self-preservation.
You know that feeling? Standing next to someone who seems perfectly fine, yet every instinct in your body, every cell just whispers something is off. That feeling isn't your imagination. That's your survival algorithm, an internal program written by experience. Through that experience, you learn to detect lies before they're even spoken. You learn to sense manipulation before it unfolds, to feel danger long before it's visible. But this finely tuned system comes with a cost. When your threat detector becomes too strong, your brain starts treating almost everyone as a potential threat. This isn't paranoia, it's pattern recognition. Your brain has collected the data, run the numbers, and concluded that the variable of other people is too unpredictable, too risky. And so the safest place becomes the one place where the detector can finally power down and rest: aloneness. But here's a question for you to sit with for a moment. Do you truly enjoy that solitude, or does it simply hurt less than being disappointed again? You don't have to answer out loud. Your body already knows.
People like you don't operate on the surface level. You don't do halfway. You don't do small talk. You can't stand fake relationships or the subtle energy games people play. You can't because you have seen too much, you've felt too much, you've understood too much to pretend that you don't. You crave depth, honesty, presence, clarity, but you've discovered that the world rarely offers them. So rather than dilute yourself, rather than shrink yourself down to fit into connections that feel shallow, you choose the one environment where you don't have to pretend. Your own company. That isn't loneliness, that's integrity. And here's the great irony. People often see this choice as a weakness. They think avoiding others means you're fragile, but they have it backwards. Your solitude is where you rebuild yourself. It's the workshop where you sharpen your intuition until it's a razor's edge. It's where you recalibrate your emotions and reconnect with the version of you that the world tried so hard to silence.
People underestimate solitary minds. They don't see the process. They don't realize how powerful someone becomes when they finally stop needing validation from the outside and start listening to their instincts on the inside. You see, you weren't broken by your experiences. You were transforming. Solitude was never your hiding place. It was your training ground. So here is the truth, the one people rarely say out loud. You prefer being alone because your nervous system trusts isolation more than it trusts people. It's not because you're an introvert, though you might be. It's not because you're cold or socially awkward. It's because your mind, on a primal level, still remembers the exact moment it learned what humans are capable of. And in that moment, it vowed to never be caught unprotected again. You didn't choose solitude as a preference, like choosing a hobby. It became your shield, a shield that was forged in fire, a shield that you still carry with you, even now.
That feeling of solitude, of preferring to be alone, have you ever wondered if it's just who you are, or if it's something else? For many, it's not a choice, but a fortress, a psychological shelter built brick by a younger version of you. When a child experiences trauma, abuse, neglect, a world that feels unsafe, their brain physically changes. The threat detection system can get stuck on high alert, making every interaction feel like a potential danger. So, you learned to build walls. You learned that safety was found in isolation. That solitude isn't your personality, it's your survival strategy, crafted when you had to protect yourself because no one else did. But here's the thought that could change everything. Maybe, just maybe, it's time to peek outside that shelter, to understand that the world isn't always the threat your mind remembers. If you want to decode the psychology of danger, instincts, and human behavior, subscribe to Mind Under Threat. The mind hides many secrets, and we're just getting started.